Good night, people. Good night. Welcome again. Welcome to another Sports Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Levon. With me tonight, I have Kims, and we're here tonight to discuss some football. And I see by the title and by the thumbnail that Jamaica football is what we're going to talk about, but we're going to segue to some other football as well, including Premier League and even AFCON. But for now, Jamaica football will be the focus. And before we even start, I saw this comment from way out. Yeah, I had seen the report, but you don't know, so I have to use things to grab people attention. And that's why I still work with the Paris as a thumbnail. So here's Fresh God saying that Paris pulled out of the squad sports frenzy. So Kaim Paris is no longer part of the squad. I don't know what's the reason behind it, but I saw the report on Twitter that he wasn't a part of the squad and he was replaced by former JC standout Malik Howell. That guy, I never knew that he still played football because when he left JC, I hadn't heard anything about him, but he has been replaced by him. And Kems, you look at Jamaica overall, like trying to give opportunities to some youths. And even the other day, you realize that Damian Lowe has signed for Inter Miami FC. So some of them are making moves, but I'm going to start with Damian Lowe right here because initially when he went to the club in Egypt, he played majority of their games. However, over time, he and the coach fell out, right? They fell out and the relationship was sour until they came to agreement that they're going to terminate his contract mutually. And it leads to the thing that, why is it that players in general, and more so some Jamaican players, can't get along with coaches at some of these clubs? Because they said that it was his fault as to why the relationship became sour with the coach. So what you have to say about this? And you can see that Damian Lowe kind of bring himself like this type of, I don't want to quote him as a gangster, nobody can say me he's a man a gangster, but he carried that sort of image. So what do you think about it?
Um, so where Damon Lowe is concerned, and what has been a huge concern about him from a taller time has been discipline or indiscipline, I might add. And I know there are ways where you can indeed try to force a way out if a deal for Inter Milan was in the works, or Inter Miami, Inter Miami was in the works. There are ways and means in which, you can do so. But, I believe that, the way how he went about it, the reputation that he left behind, I don't think, and it might not affect him overall, but for me, as a player, still a young player, still, trying to find his way in the professional space, I think, you just don't want certain reports out there about you. You don't want to hear say you can't get along with the coach. You don't want to hear say you're not dedicated to your craft. You don't want to hear say you're not dedicated to the team. Whatever the case may be. We have heard those things, too many times. And just like how, and I want to make a comparison. Just like how we spoke about how Fleming can open particular doors with his move to France. It's the same way Damian Lowe can close doors, where he was. Because they're gonna say, probably we don't want no more Jamaicans. Boy, probably, a little PTSD. Probably, Damian Lowe, that was our last Jamaican. So I don't think those things set a good precedence. And I don't know the intricacies. Probably the coach did a deal with him away. We don't know, but we just have to work on what we know.
All right, so
And
here's come on Lee saying that would you go to work if you have not gotten paid? So I guess it
there
is
we
a
go.
payment standoff.
There we go. But that's it. Come on. Like I am not. We don't know that information, or that information wasn't privy to us. So I could say that. But would I go to work if I haven't gotten paid? Probably not. Probably not. So But again, I believe that it's important to also clear your name. You don't want only bad reports out there about you. You want to also clear your name and just make a stance about what has. You don't
Come
have
on,
to go into
come
the
on, come
intricacies
on
of
is
some.
saying that he actually came out to this side because
Really?
yes, she's saying that you should have been. Hold on. Oh, he hasn't. She's saying that he should have Damien to give his side of the story. So, as I said, no, Kems, Personally, we out here are just speculating, so it's for him now to come and throw all our arguments through the window and say, hey, it's nothing like that. I wasn't being paid and blah blah blah. Because again, yes, come on saying that they realized that Romario Williams was there as well and left. So it seems like it's something that has to do with either the league or the Jamaican players. It's one out of the two. Because that's all we can do here as fans, and as
Or
viewers of the
probably
league.
both. All right, but
Yeah.
what? So I know Romario personally. Damian Lowe is a play is somebody we know from Vars because he went to Vars as well. And but I don't know him as close as I know Romario. And Romario is not a guy that is a disrespectful youth, or is not a guy that's indisciplined. Because even when he was in the MLS over by um, Atlanta, he was by Atlanta in the MLS, and like he wasn't getting a lot of game time and etc. etc. He still was professional and everything. So I know Romario is not an person that has indiscipline. So as Cameron say, hey, probably is payment issues, players not getting paid, or players not getting the money that was agreed to, or it can be I don't know. I guess we can just wait until the full story come out. But based on what we know, the coach jump out, the team jump out and pointing fingers. Damien doesn't want to work hard, doesn't want to train hard, doesn't want to come to training, doesn't want to be present, doesn't want to be a part of the team, all negative about him. Not even say, oh, this guy's a good player. No, only negativity about this player. So,
Uh-huh.
I'm not
And
sure.
yes, Robbie saying that, but the club going with foolishness though. Here's Fabi Frano saying that come on always have these first and info, she close to most of them. And here's come on also justifying her the comments by saying that if if he was looking for a club, then yes. But he is now with a club, so I think he should wish them well and move on. Sometimes you just close the door on one chapter and move on. No good can come from the back and forth.
All right. So, come on. You see, this is the thing. I would have agreed with you if it wasn't this same Damian Law who came out against the JFF. That is how I would agree with. You see, if Damian Lowe had keep his mouth shut where the JFF is concerned, then I would say, okay, keep your mouth shut where this is concerned and just close the door and move on. But he wasn't. He was very vocal where the JFF was concerned. And these are your own people. And you call them out and you show them up and you do everything that you were supposed to do and you put things in the public like what the public really didn't know. So I'm saying if you're going to do that to your own people, I can't say close the door on this one. I would like you to at least defend yourself, at least make a statement because they always say or they often say silence means consent. So if you're silent, we can probably still say, hey, these are the things that was happening behind closed doors. I'm not disagreeing with you, come on, because obviously you're more closer to these individuals. But I'm saying that, we want to hear something. Just something.
And now I'm going to say good night to Michelle, Christoph, Shemjack, and as I mentioned before, Fabi Frano, big up yourself, bro. Um, Here's Jeff asking a question. He's saying that so because the club never did pay him, that's why I'm stick up JFF for 7K years to play for Jamaica. Um, Come on, is saying that different arguments. JFF is a well-known party shop. I keep on telling you guys to stop draft for the party shop comparison because party shop are well run. JFF and party shop are two total different type of things. But
But
guys, remember that
but then hold on, Levon. So Jeff Entertainment, Robbie Rich actually make a good point, because OM can stick up the party shop JFF with
I
whatever
said,
money you need. But these people, okay, just let me just stop trading and all that. Why never just say, I'm not play for no Jamaica, yeah, man. Jamaica can go on. I'm not play for Jamaica, but I got focus on my club football. Whenever Jamaica serious about the payments and sort of the party shop business, then I'll play for them. As I said before, for me personally, I just don't like when you're willing to call out your country, you're willing to go against your country, but when you go overseas, you're willing to just be quiet, hush hush, and do the man's work. I don't like that, me personally.
and here's Travis Pessoa saying that Damian Low petty. If anyone talk against him, the boss block them.
Facts. Facts.
Shadow Star. But if you look at it though, okay, so look at the team and let me just list up about the team because we had done so some time back, and as I said, it's mostly made up of local players.
Yeah.
And I know that COVID had struck some of them, but The team that I saw was Jaden White, and that's a keeper for Cavalier. I saw Demar Rose, Amal Knight, I believe is at Harborview, Dwayne Miller, Okosachang, I know that he's at Harborview. You have Richard King, Jamai Topi, both at Cavaliers. There's a Damian Lowe, Javian Brown, Javon Watson, Kemar Lawrence, Tevin Shaw, Ramon Owell, Devon Williams, Devante Campbell, the youngster from Mount Pleasant, Lamar Walker, Jordan Fletcher, Peter Levasso, Dwayne Atkinson, Deshane Beckford, Malik Oil, and Alex Marshall, the man who I said that seems uninterested in football. But just the other day, I was watching back some highlights of some goals and some assists he made for Halifax over there in Canada, and he did pretty well. But look at this team, man, going up against this Peruvian team, Kims. Do you think that they stand any chance of winning this game? One, or two, do you think that is just an experiment by Paul Hall to see who can make it into the core set of players that he already has?
So for me, all right. So we all know that when we talk about football, the primary thing is results. This is you want to win games. But I think for this one, this is a little bit different. Obviously, a very young squad. Some persons playing for the first time. So I think it's really trial and error for Paul Hall. Trying out some players, giving players opportunity. Hey, this is your opportunity to impress me. There's no more Whitmore, no more Frenty, no more this or that. You guys come in. I'm judging you solely on your football, on your work ethic, how you go, how you go about your day-to-day business and how you play on the field. A player that I'm really excited for is Dwayne Atkinson. That's a ball that I like a very long time. So I'm actually happy that he gets an opportunity. Hopefully he touches the field, so he'll be able to prove himself. Alex Marshall obviously is a Georgian, so I want him to do well I want him to do well. But I just think this is, as you said, experiment. Get people out there, get them in the Jamaica colors, get them to go out there and play football. Get to see who and who can play football together and stuff like that.
All right, so here's Diamond Becky saying that agree with you on that. Can't just talk about JA when them do you wrong, but when they overseas and the club do you wrong, you not say nothing. Um, Games, I wanted to address this. So let's come on saying that out of that list, be honest, who will make the final cut? You think Hall not draft for his foreign players? If Demari Gray comes, one this list will get a spot in the final 23. So first up, come on. Demari as a hold up with his passport. So I don't think that will come through in time for the two upcoming games that are on the horizon. So Demari Gray for now is kind of out of the equation. As it pertains to who in this team that can make it into the final 23, I honestly believe that nobody right now. If we're being honest, nobody can really make it right now. But we have to see how this goes and hope for the best for all of these guys. Because yes, as I said, this is an experimental stage for a lot of them. Go out there and see what they can do. So if in case that let's say the qualifiers don't work out in terms of we don't have any possible way to qualify for the World Cup, then I think he should start looking at some of these players to see if any of these players that he can use to build for the future. Because at the end of the day, Jamaica has to rebuild no matter what. Because a lot of these players in the current squad are old. So then again, you have to look forward to the future. And some of them are some youngsters that eventually I think they'll end up overseas. So we just have to wait and see how that pan out. Let's see if James is back. All right, yeah,
Yeah.
bro. In the 23 that, not the 23, in the team that are listed, do you think any of them can make it into the final 23?
All right. So again, we have to decide what we want, right? Because we had said earlier, we had said earlier, right? We had said earlier, hey, um, we want Jamaica to start building. They want them to start building, get the youngsters involved and stuff. So I think this is an opportunity. I don't think they want to. I don't think they're trying to pick them for these upcoming qualifiers, but I think they're trying to just build for the future, probably for the next World Cup, probably for the next Gold Cup. And I think this is a good sample size for Paul Hall to see what he has working with.
All right. Um, Here's Jeff saying that that's what all said. These players have to play really good to make the team. Yeah, that's true. Here's Camon saying that want to see what Okasa does. Can be the leading goal scorer in Jamaica Premier League. That should be, and not done the national colours. Yeah, I really want to see what he has to offer because I like that player as well. I like what I saw of him at JC, so I hope that he can come through and do something. Yes, Christoph saying that I think this is just a game that he would use to see if there are a few local baller he can get into the squad if there is any spot.
Because
And also,
my thing is, some one on the level. You see, my thing is, Paul Hall is hearing the noise. You think Paul Hall now hear what people are saying? Oh, every time you doesn't get English-based players, you doesn't get players from overseas, yada yada yada. So I think he's saying, okay, let me give everybody, whether you call it fair or unfair chance, let us give them an opportunity to show us what they have. If we look at the disparity in quality with the Premier League in Jamaica versus obviously English Premier League, Championship, even MLS. There's a great disparity there. But I say give them an opportunity. Certain players that are excited to see. I wish Parris was in the squad because I really wanted to see him go out there and show his worth. But he's not there. Even Shamar Nicholson I really wanted, but he pulled out as well for whatever reason he did. So these are some things that I want to see. So I just want to see some key players. I think Paul Hall probably have around 4 or 5 players that he wants to see as well, that he probably heard about, and say, okay, let me give them a closer look. Even Devon Williams as well. Let me see what he can do with this team because obviously Devon is still young and probably can, play obviously the next World Cup and so on and so forth. So I think it's a great opportunity for these players. If they don't get picked, so be it. But give them the opportunity to just show what they have.
all right. I really want to see a lot of them to prosper. As I mentioned, Paris, but it's the players like Chung, Dwayne Atkinson, and all those guys. I want to see them leave Jamaica football. I want to see these guys go overseas. That's where I want to do. And when I say overseas, I don't mean like USL because I keep on telling them that I don't want to see these players in USL. I want to see them make the bigger step up into. If they end up in MLS, I'll be all right, okay, because it's a launching ground at the end of the day, right? However, Europe is where they should be aiming. Yes, to the lower leagues in Europe, no problem. Belgium, because I think I saw where a youngster from even Waterhouse, his name is Shaquille Bradford. I believe last season he was tied with Okosa Chung for leading goal scorer. I think he's on trial with a team over there in I think it's Portugal. Yeah, I think he's on a 15-day trial with a team in Portugal. So I would love if he impressed on that trial and can get a deal over there, just like Ajani Talbot did for whichever team he's at over there in Portugal. He went on trial, and I think they took up the option of signing him. So I want to see more of these youth get exposure to European football, or by and large, football outside of Jamaica and them little leagues in and around the Caribbean, because that is not helping the football itself. So I really want to see them go further. But Kims, on another note, look at it now, and they said that no fans will be allowed inside the stadium for the two upcoming qualifiers. Now, lead me to start to think some things. One, the Prime Minister came out and said that, hey, the really business about people anymore in terms of the vaccines argument done. And well, it's not really business about lockdown. Say, not go back to lockdown. That's what I'm getting at. You're not going back to lockdown. And it lead me to think that if you're not going back to lockdown and all those things, why is it that I can't open the stadium? Not really say open it up just like that, but like just like last time out where you allowed 5,000 fans inside the stadium, why is it that they couldn't do something like that again, knowing that this team is trying to qualify for the World Cup? Just open it and say, all right, here what? Vaccinated fans can be allowed inside the stadium as long as they have the proof of vaccination and all of that, right?
Mhm.
Is it a case that Jamaica are so backward in their thinking that they are not trying to help their team to qualify for the World Cup, or is actually making the right move? And then again, you look
Mhm.
at Cayman Spark. People are allowed inside Cayman Spark right now. How does that make sense?
Mhm. Honestly, if I came here and tried to give you a reason or an excuse, then I would be a liar. I really don't know. I really don't know what's going through, the Prime Minister's head. I just know the last time my opinion, the reason why he did it the last time, I believe he was pressured. If you notice, a lot of persons come out, the Elaine Thompsons of the world, a lot of persons say, hey, you see Bolt, everybody, hey, let some fans in the stadium, man. So I believe there was a particular pressure that was on the Prime Minister. Everybody looking at him now and say, oh, all right, let me put it, oh yeah, this amount of fans can come. But obviously there's no pressure on him right now. That's the only thing that I could really come up with. I can't really come up with anything else. Obviously, being at the office, you want fans in the office. The office is not the office, without fans. So I think having fans at the office would be absolutely spectacular. Unfortunately, there won't be any fans there this time around, which is really unfortunate.
And just like I spoke about Damian Lillard not too long ago, I saw a tweet from him saying that important times ahead. Fans at the office will give us that extra push we need. Every CONCACAF team has fans in their stadium except us. Even
Yep,
1K would do. So you have to really think about this long, hard, and deep. And as I said, horse racing still allow fans as the fans
exactly.
over there. So why is it that it is football that is facing the blunt of this? Why?
I don't know. I honestly, again, I probably don't like football. That would have been the easy answer. Probably just don't like football, or I'm give up on Jamaican football. I'm not into Jamaican. I don't know. But as somebody said in the comment section, it's mere politics, and I believe politics is involved in everything. And I don't know. Honestly, I can't really give you an answer why, because it really and truly doesn't make any sense. If you even say 500 fans, if you say 1,000 fans, if you say this amount, if you say only vaccinated people, if you want people to get vaccinated, this is another opportunity to make people get vaccinated because what people want to watch some football. Hey, only vaccinated fans will be allowed in the national stadium. Trust me, you get more people vaccinated. But to say no fans at all, I don't know, man. And I have other things, horse racing and those things have fans, it just don't make any sense to me at all.
Facts. Here's Camon saying that Andrew getting his information from the
Facts,
scientist in St. Thomas. He has no
facts,
idea what to do. And
facts.
Camon also saying that I watched AFCON today and their numbers are crazy, but yet the stadium was full. And here's Latoya saying that I can't do this. I want to attend football matches. Um, no, we reach a stage, Kim, so we're going to predict for the game itself. Now look at it.
Hmm.
Do you honestly believe that this squad is capable of beating Peru? And I think Peru won't be using their full quota of their international players.
No, honestly, no, I don't think so. I think it will be. I think Jamaica will get 3-1. I think it'll be 3-1.
Okay.
I think it, I think if it was the regular team would have lose. So I think this team, will lose as well. So I would say 3-1 Peru. I'll give Jamaica a goal. I think one of the youngsters will score, but I don't know a bunch of youngsters there.
Get a
Probably
feeling.
Atkinson. Yeah, probably Atkinson will score, but I think it's a 3-1. I think it's a 3-1 victory, honestly.
And here's Robbie Wild and Robbie saying that Jamaica will win 3-2.
All right, Robbie. Put some money on it, Robbie.
Here's Christoph saying that Pay Majoka should allow vaccinated people to go watch the match.
Exactly. Like this is
So,
my team. This is my team. All right, you can read the comment.
whereas Demo saying that football is seen as a poor man's sport, horse ring is high end and be a big shot involved. All right, go ahead and say what you're going to
All
say.
right. So this is my thing. You see, when you ask people to get vaccinated, these are the reasons. You want to show the unvaccinated person that hey, if you want perks and stuff, come over to the vaccinated side. This is an opportunity to say, hey, for just state a claim. Hey, only vaccinated people at the match. Hey, only vaccinated people over here. But this prime minister do what he wants, so no one is holding him accountable. So hey, we just have to just live with it.
All right, we're going to move on from Jamaica football because there's not much really to talk about this game, and there's a lot of YouTube channels right around floating around that all they talk about Jamaica football right around the clock. So we're going to
Hmm.
move on. Now we look at Afghan, and boy, it has been interesting yet poor and entertaining in one.
Hmm.
Now I spoke about it. I believe it was on Monday that a laughable situation took place when a referee blow off a game in the 85th minute. For whatever reason, I joked around and said that probably his girlfriend said that, hey, my dad wasn't around, so he was trying to run over to his girlfriend home quickly.
Yeah.
Then they highlighted it to him that, hey, the match wasn't finished, and he continued. And still, the guy went ahead and called off the game in the 89th minute. Now, he was removed from the refereeing panel. And
Got to.
do you think they made the right decision, or you think they could
No,
have given him a chance?
no, no chance. All right, so check this out, right? If all right, let us talk about. Let us be serious now. Remember, a lot of persons already look down on this competition and say, "Oh, this competition is a joke." This competition no serious. A lot of teams don't want to send their players over there. And when you have instances like this, when you have issues like this coming, and this is not no mistake where you say, "Oh, I didn't know this." Like this is a blatant, like this is just blatant, right? So you blow off the game in the 85th minute. And then okay, them say the game not over. Then the man not even wait till the 90 minute. In the 89th minute, him blow off the game again. And nobody could tell him anything. Also, let us not forget that I think there was I don't know if it was I think it was a red card. It was either a red card or a penalty. I can't remember exactly. Somebody in the comment section can correct me or you can correct me. But
I
I think it
believe it
was
was a
one of those,
penalty.
and it went to VAR, and VAR said no,
Yes.
and the referee over the referee override VAR and said yes, yes, that is it. I think it was the penalty or something like that. But like when these things happen in such a competition that have a brand, such a prestige, like
Actually, it
the,
was
the
a
players
red
like
card. It
it
was a
was a
red
red
card.
card.
Yeah.
Yes. So like players like Salah, Mane will leave them clubs and you come over here. So you want the thing be at a particular standard, at a particular
Facts.
level. And right now it's not there. But what I can say about it, and I've said this many times, sometimes people don't really want to see a standard. Sometimes people just want to see interesting. Sometimes people just want to be entertained. And trust me, it is entertaining over there. So, people will still watch it regardless. But as a through and through football fan, you don't want to see these things happening. Blow off game 89. Imagine if you're in the EPL and big Chelsea versus Liverpool, 1-0, Chelsea leading, and the ref blow off the game at the 89th minute. You water down the thing, the credibility of the thing I will just drop. So, I never really liked that at all. And, you know, but I think the competition on a whole has been, very entertaining. I think the standard could have been a little bit better, but the entertainment value is up there.
All right, I'm going to just flip through the groups quickly. Then I get to a statement that was made by Samuel Eto'o because
Mm-hmm.
that's not helping his case at all right now.
Not,
But first up, you have Group A where you have Cameroon who are leading on 7 points. Then you have
mm,
Burkina Faso who are on four. So both those teams have qualified for the next round. Cape Verde and Ethiopia are the next two that have been knocked out. When you look at a Group B, and as you mentioned, Kim, the standard over there has been poor because
mm-hmm.
Senegal, who was seen as the top team over there, they struggled to qualify. Yes, they win the group, but they struggle in some
So,
of those games, and they only win. I believe in the first game it took like a added time penalty from Mane to win that game
man,
for them.
yep,
They
absolutely.
won one and drew the other two games in the group. So yes, they ended on 5 points. Guinea
Yep.
finished second in that group on 4 points. Then we look at Group C now, and you
Mm-hmm.
look at Morocco winning that group and Gabon finishing second. But guess what was a surprising story? Well, surprising to some, not to some. You have a team like Ghana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ghana has players like Daniel Marty who plays for Leicester. They have
Mm-hmm.
this youth Suleiman who plays Arena. They have Andre Ayew, Jordan Ayew, and Arsenal big baller Thomas Partey. Yet this team couldn't make it out of the group, and in their final game, they were beaten up by a no-name team by the name of Comoros.
They lost that
Like,
3-2, right?
yeah, how do you explain things like these?
Can't explain it at all. I was watching that game, the 3-2 game, and it just seemed like, I guess you can say, when you play to your competition. That's all I can put it down to. You play to your competition because even Party and the guy from Leicester and thing, they weren't standout players. You couldn't look at those players and say, hey, That's an EPL baller. That's an EPL baller. You couldn't see that everybody just look like they belong, amongst each other. So, you know, obviously sorry for Ghana. I have some friends from Ghana and they're very disappointed. And I hear they saying that they don't want to see Party, in another uniform. And and the guy from Leicester, they say they don't want to see him in another uniform either because those guys are not quality and not good enough. So if they can say that, then what can I say?
Okay. Now, in the next group is Nigeria finish on top with 9 points. They have a good squad. I like what I'm seeing from them. Then you have Egypt who they create, they score, and they go as far as Mohamed Salah goes. And yeah, they finished second in the group, so they have made it through. Group E of Ivory Coast who are on 4 points ahead of Equatorial Guinea with on 3 points, and then Algeria are at, well, Sierra Leone is in third on 2 points, and they have Algeria at the foot of the table on one. I know that Algeria is one of those teams that is seen as a big team over there. The coach
Mm-hmm.
before the tournament was on like 34 game unbeaten run, I believe it was, because you know that Algeria was struggling somewhat. He took over in 2018, I think it was, and since then he was on a very good run. Some people calling for his head, but some are saying that
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is the man who came forward and steadied the ship for us. So it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to get rid of him just because this has been a bad Afghan tournament. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they never selected the best of teams, but I personally think that they can give him a chance since as it's 3 games. And yes, you expect them to come through the group based on the opponents, but it's just one of those things. And I think they can just move on and move past this. What do you think?
Yeah. See, my thing is like it seems like you have no, and not only in this Afghan competition, but just in sports in general. It seems like you can't have a down year. It seems like if you have a down year, if you don't meet the heights that people expect you to reach, automatically they're calling for your job. They want you to be fired. They want someone else in. It's like you always have to be on top, and I don't really like that. So I agree with you. I think give the man another opportunity, give him some more chance. Last time when they won the tournament, a lot of persons didn't expect them to win. So
Facts.
that must stand for something. So give the man another opportunity. Obviously, it's disappointed on everybody as the defending champions and so, but that's also it goes sometimes. Sometimes
True.
it don't pan out what it's supposed to pan out, but that don't mean say the man must just lose his job just like that. No man, give him another opportunity, I say.
Facts. Facts. And in the final group, see Gambia leading that group currently over Mali, Tunisia are in third position on 3 points, but they have the opportunity to qualify because I think they play against Gambia in the final game, and I think that happened tomorrow. And then you have Mali playing against Mauritania. Nothing more to say about that, but where I'm going to go now, Kems, is the fact that Samuel Eto'o, before the tournament
Mm.
started, he said that he personally believed that our Africa has teams that can actually challenge and win the World Cup because they do have the quality. Was he crazy for saying that there's any can they find any valid point to substantiate his argument?
I don't know, boy. Well, if they have that quality, this Afghan tournament definitely not showing it. So, so all right. So Etu, obviously Etu, he's from Cameroon.
Yeah,
So I don't
he's
expect.
the president of the Cameroon FA, I think.
Yeah, so I don't expect him to say anything different. If any Jamaican go there, they'll tell you say, "Oh, Jamaica can make it to the World Cup and create damage and blah 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 blah."
That's
But
one. That's one.
realistically though, not right now. I think the development have to be a little bit more. I think competitions like these have to be taken more seriously. I think the quality, the standard have to be better from the top to the bottom. I think the players have to be bought in more. I think they have to take it a little bit more serious. I think even the referees have to lift their game, lift their standard. I think a lot of things have to come into play, in order for our African nation to come in and say, they can stake the claim to beat a Germany, a Brazil, a Argentina, England, a Portugal, those teams. Right now I don't think they're there yet. I think obviously European football and South American football is notches above them. But can it happen? Absolutely, it can happen. But right now, no, they're not there yet. I think they need some more time.
All right, here's Michael Reynolds saying that if them couldn't do it during the heights of their football, back in his time, why does he think they can do it now?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Totally agreed.
yes, Christoph saying that I watch most of the tournament and I haven't seen the quality he's talking about. I think Nigeria has a good team though. Yeah, they do. Yes, Emerald saying that
But
historically Africans are naive in front to goal. During World Cups, you will be frustrated by them in terms of finishing, but during a game, they can do well. It's just when it matters most. And I think
yeah,
that leads back to you remember. You remember? I think it was what 2010 or 2014 World Cup when Asamoah
I
Gyan
was
had that opportunity and then bushed it.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, I was
So
just about to
does
mention
it does have some solid points right there. And here's
that.
Michelle
Yeah.
saying that maybe they could challenge for the World Cup if they form a combined Africa team comprising the top players from the various countries.
Yeah, that time with that player Gian, I believe yeah, all right. So you see like how Leicester win the league one time
Mhm.
and we don't think that going to happen again for another 50, 60 years, something like that. So that was probably their opportunity to grab something and then just go with it and then celebrate that for the next 50, 60 years. But I don't think African nations currently will be a consistent challenger every 4 years or if they change it to every 2 years, whichever one. But I don't think there'll be a consistent challenger at that point at all.
Thinking about it, that game that Gian missed that wasn't that penalty he missed against was it Uruguay?
It was against Uruguay when Suarez hands the ball.
Yes.
Mm,
So as I was mentioning, that was a perfect opportunity for them to actually do so. Well, make the one off
mm,
run. It doesn't mean that they would have won it here, but just make a run and see how far they could go. But currently, as it is, I don't think these African teams has what it takes to match up to these European teams, and by and large, as I said, these South American teams. So I think Eto is reaching.
well, I mean, being the president of the Cameroon business, these are things I have to say. These are things I want him to believe it. I have to go ahead and vocalize it so people can, actually try to take him serious.
All right, we're going to shift across to some club football now, where yesterday we saw Brighton and Mr. Graham Potter dropping points again against a team that I heard that is champions elect, best team on the planet, a team that the coach is going to create that nobody wants to play. And you know what's surprising, Kim? So I heard this coach came out and said that his players look tired. A team in a bro that people told us that they can easily make three teams out of that and beat anybody on any given day in the Premier League. And now we're hearing that they look tired. How do
Well,
you let's talk about it?
well, Levon, let me correct you first of all. He didn't say the team looked tired. He said, and I quote, "My team is mentally and physically drained out of it." Right? And I'm saying, all right. I'm saying, let me look at it because right now, even the Chelsea bench, they can use the Chelsea bench and buy all a Brighton squad. We can buy a Brighton team with Chelsea bench. Right, but then I say, you know what? Let me give Tuchel the benefit of the doubt. So I went ahead and I looked and I said, Jorginho didn't play over the. I said, Jorginho didn't play over the weekend. Jorginho didn't play over the weekend. He was there. I don't think he's tired. Kai Havertz didn't play over the weekend. Never start him. Timo Werner played 31 minutes between the weekend and that game. Saul was on the bench, never play. Kovacic come off the bench. And then when I look over the Brighton side now, he never start Trossard or Marpe and they play full 90 minutes. I think they played on Friday. They played full 90 minutes that time and they came on probably in the 60 something minute. So I'm saying if Chelsea players are mentally tired and physically tired, Brian can say the same thing. But what did Graham Potter say? And I have to give him credit for this. He came out and he said, "Hey, my team played a great game. Obviously, we thought that we were the better. I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, we thought that we were the better team. But I'm really proud of the guys. I'm really proud of the effort that they gave us. And we'll go on to the next game. That is what I wanted Tuchel to come out and say, hey, we played our best. Obviously, we think that we could have done better at certain point in time, but we move on to the next game. Again, I said this about Conte. I don't like coaches with nice resumes who come out and cry, 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 and have a bunch of excuses. You have $100 million player, and that man look like as come on say about the value, he look like $100 player, Jamaican dollar. That's how he looked. He was absolutely atrocious. Ziyech, whatever his name, he scored the goal, but he was absolutely terrible. Alonso, I don't know how that man still playing for Chelsea. Jorginho was bad. All right, let me show you how bad it was. Timo came on in the 80th minute, and he was more influential than Lukaku. And Lukaku played 80 minutes, and Timo played 10 minutes in that game. So, and again, I don't know if Inter Milan is on Lukaku's mind. And I defended Lukaku the other day and said, hey, he's a good striker, and he'll get it together. But right now, he's looking really bad. He's
All right, so
looking
here what happened,
really,
bro.
really, really bad.
Guess what happened?
Wow.
Man said the stripes of Brighton. I thought it was Inter Milan because Inter Milan has stripes as well. So the man decided, to say,
Yeah.
yo, here what? I'm going to play as a $100 million defender for Brighton, and he did so. But on a more serious note,
Mhm.
Chelsea is a team that, yeah, I think that they don't handle business properly in terms of they knew that Aspilicueta is aging. Yet this club went and they sold Tariq Lamptey. Yes, he needed game time, but Tariq Lamptey is good fullback. They
Mhm.
went ahead, they sold Tino Livramento, and this I mean Chelsea fans sung all day in our ears that Livramento is the next big thing, and he's going to lock down over the right hand side along with Reece James and all sort of arguments, right? No, they're struggling because one, Alonso just can't cut it.
Mhm.
Aspilicueta over the moons. No, had they had one of these guys, they would have been in a better position because what you have to factor in as a club, that at point in season, you're going to face injuries. The time that we're living in, you know that COVID is going to be a big deal. And they sold Livermore just the other day. So they sold him during the COVID period, right? So it's not a
Mhm.
case as if they never knew. So as a club, I don't think they make the best of decisions at times. Yes, they have Emerson Palmieri and loan at Leon. They tried to bring him back in. He's a left-sided wing back, plays at Italy.
Mhm.
They tried to bring him in. Leon blocked their move around 4 times, said that they're not letting him go. Even though he's their player in terms of Chelsea player and he's on loan,
Mhm.
man, said they're not letting him go. They already paid their loan fee, they're not letting him go in at all. So I don't think they made the best of decisions when it comes on to who they're selling and all of that. But hey, personally for me, I don't mind. I don't mind they sell
All
all
right.
the youngsters.
So this is another thing I see with Chelsea. And sometimes Klopp can overthink a room. We saw he did it in the Champions League. But for me, I think Tuchel is overthinking the room. Right? And also when I look on that Chelsea squad, I want two things. Give me two things. Sometimes the simplest answer, Levon, is oftentimes the right answer. What I want to do, I want a striker where I can go and I say, hey, we're not really playing too good right now, but you give me a goal. Get me a goal. You want a defender who say, hey, we have a 1-0 lead. Hey, lock it down. We're not playing too good. We're not really in any form right now, but hey, let us sneak out a win. Look at Manchester City the other day against the same Chelsea side. The game, obviously, City is the better team. 1-0. Kevin De Bruyne, get me a goal. You want players like that, and I'm looking at Chelsea and I'm saying, let me look at the team sheet. Who can get me a goal? I see $100 million man. I see $75 million man. I see this $1 million man. But they can't get you the basic needs where you need in order to go ahead and challenge for a title. They start out good, they start out well, but obviously the league catch up with them. And I remember I told you guys that I say, hey, Chelsea is not with the top two teams, and they will end up fighting for top four. And I said they might finish fourth, but they'll be fighting for top four. And see, Arsenal are what? Arsenal have a game in hand or 2 games in hand or something like that, and they're winning
Spurs have
3 points.
but guess
And
what? If
Spurs
Spurs
too.
if Spurs if Spurs win all their games in and I'm tell you currently. So right now Spurs are currently on 36 points and they have
Uh-huh.
4 games in hand. Four, So if they
Yep.
win those 4 games, they'll be on what, 48 points. So they're going to
Past
go ahead and
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yep.
Arsenal too, right?
Arsenal no. Arsenal has 3 games in hand. So if Arsenal win all those three, they're going to be on level on points. But here what's the
Interesting.
thing for Arsenal in and Tottenham. In those fixtures, both of them are going to play against each other. Because remember that the London
Oh,
Derby was
oh,
cancelled.
Arsenal and
It's one
Tottenham.
of those
Yep,
games, yeah.
yep.
But I think the top four will be very interesting coming down the home stretch of the
The
Premier
top
League.
two. So remember, at one point in time, it was four teams fighting for one spot. Now
Yep.
I believe it's around five teams fighting for two spots. I think it's five teams fighting for two spots because I don't think Chelsea is cemented in third place, and I think they have won one game, one Premier League game in their last seven. Something like that. I don't think that's not championship football.
And Kings,
That's probably.
you know that stretch it though. You know that probably say six because remember that Wolves are on 31 points right now, right? And they have 3 games in
Mhm.
hand. So if they win those 3 games, they will go on 40 points.
They're in there too. Yep.
So guess what? When they go on 40 points, they would be right there with West Ham because West Ham is on 37 points from 22 games. So
Mm-hmm.
boy, it's tough, man.
Yep. Definitely tough.
Yes, Alan saying that Tuchel need to find tactics that involve the attacking players. Tuchel can't find the balance. He have been saying that for a good while now. He has been saying it. But
One, 1 second.
here's Michael Reynolds saying that so you know I think the same thing I'll reach those coaches them if the board too incompetent. See how toxic gonna be. So coming further up further. Oh here's Aldan saying that the young players Chelsea sold wouldn't get a chance. Haspi and Alonso and all attackers playing badly and I know I can't see no teenagers getting a look in. I understand where you're coming from. And here's Emerald saying that he wished Man United board was like Chelsea board and owner. And here's Camon, who's a Chelsea fan, saying that Chelsea need to recall some baller. They have so many players on loan that they don't need to spend to buy any players. They have a good amount of players on loan. Some of them are quality while some are overrated, if we're being honest. But I don't mind Chelsea continue to suffer. I am actually enjoying it. But going to move on to another game that took place earlier on today where it was Leicester who took on Tottenham at the King Power Stadium. Now, Leicester took an early lead through Patson Daka that was cancelled out by Harry Kane. Then they took the lead once again through James Madison. And this is where all hell went. Well, I won't say all hell. What I'd say is if everything could go bad for a team, this is where everything went bad for Leicester. I believe it was like 5 minutes added on, but they ended up playing 8 minutes. And the man for Tottenham was Stephen Bergwijn. And he came on, he got a yellow card in the 94th minute, and then he equalized in the 95th. Then he found the late winner in the 97th. Now, people start to ask the question is Brendan Rodgers to be blamed for the situation that Leicester are currently facing in terms of the crisis? Yes, I know that they are missing out quite a few players who are over there in Afghan, but sometimes as coach, you reach a stage of a game, you're supposed to be able to see out these things. Sometimes some things are just can't be defended. You can't defend things like these at times, and you're just like a couple minutes away from gaining a win, and because of not approaching things as you were supposed to. And I can't see Kim saying because Kim's lost some dollars on this one, but there's no way you reach this point, and all you have to do is say, hold on, just hold on and hold out. You don't have to do anything else now. Yes, on the basis of play, it could be said that Tottenham deserved the win because they played good in parts. They were the better team if you really look at it from an analytical standpoint, but sometimes these are games that you call smash and grab, and Leicester should have just smashed and grabbed the win and just move on. No, they were
Yep.
unable to do so. And Kems, I know that you're pissed off about it, man, because you lost. But what you have to say about it?
So this is it, right? There's a lot of things going for Leicester in this game. They're at home. They had a lead, 2-1. Because remember, I even said it to you, 2-1, I'm in there, I'm jumping around, I'm happy. Only thing I see a message, because I turn off the TV, honestly, I turn off the TV because I start celebrating. Then I see a message and I say 2-2. I said, what? I'm turning on back the TV, so I 3-2, and I'm saying there must be a time, as and again, it always have to go back to the coach. You have to put out some instructions, and this have happened way too many times to Brendan Rodgers. Whether he's in a Champions League spot and then get knocked out and have to go play Europa, or he's leading a game, quite quote unquote comfortably, and then just find some way to lose it. And I don't think Tottenham won that game today. I actually thought Leicester lost the game. I thought Leicester gave away the game. All right, it's 2-1. Now the game got 2-2. All right, there is no reason for you to try to grab a winner right there, sir, because now Tottenham has all the momentum. I'm saying just see out the game 2-2, and probably I'm biased because I had money on Leicester to win or draw. But I'm saying it's 2-2. Just let it go on. No. It's really Brandon Rodgers' form. He's always choking away, and I think Leicester City really and truly. I think this is a game that they will rule come the end of the season. They look back at this Tottenham and say, "Boy,
Facts.
we had 3 points in the bag here. This could have brought us to Europa, but because
Facts.
of that, we haven't been able to do so. But I think all right. We were talking just about the Algeria coach, right? I think Leicester has to move on from Brendan Rodgers. I think they have to move on from Brendan Rodgers. Why? One, because he has been in too much prominent positions and falter. And I think certain stuff that I don't think Leicester is improving, especially with their set pieces, and I don't think they can hold a lead. So I think they need a new coach to come on up in there and get some things straight. So I think they need to move on. And if you want him at Manchester United, they can get him now. You can
Oh,
let him
bro,
talk to.
I don't want Brendan Rodgers anymore, man.
Nah, nah, the boy. Oh man.
But I'm glad you touched on that because, as I mentioned just now, I'm not going to go back to that. Tottenham are now in a position that they could finish third in the league if they win all their games and they can finish third. Now, move over to the other game that took place today, Man United against Brentford. As I said, I never really expected much, but whatever happens, just happen. And if we're being honest, that keeper's been the best player by a country mile for this team this season. He has been the one saving them. And when we talk about world class, this is the man that has been world class of Man United this season, the only one. I don't
Yep.
want anybody to tell me about Cristiano, this Cristiano, that. David De Gea has been the only world class player for Man United this season, and he saved them. Well, yeah, people might say, oh, that is his job to do. But again, yes, it's his job to do, but he has to keep on bailing out his defenders in position that he shouldn't have been doing. Anyways, he saved them in the first half for Matthias Jensen, even though I think it was just some poor finishing from him. Brentford should have been up because they outplayed Man United in the first half. But in the second half, came around, and I don't know what the coach, as Kim's calling Mr. Press Conference, said
Mm-hmm.
to the guys, but they came out in the second half and I saw more in terms of I saw guys making runs like Elanga. Happy for that, you would have been watching him for a good while now. And this is the hunger that I like to see with players. When they get a chance, you just try to grab it. I remember in the back end, I believe it was last season when Ole was still there. Ole gave him a chance and he scored against Wolves. So yes, he was and it was a well taken goal from him. He kind of miscontrolled it somewhat, but he said that he saw the keeper coming, so that's the reason why he kind of did that. Scored a good goal. Fred with a good pass, his best bits for the entirety of that game. McTominay was good in that game as well. He was good in, especially in the second half. He won most of those 50-50s, so I'm going to give that to him. And Bruno, this was one of his better halves. He made some good decision in that final third, and Greenwood was on to score one of those goals, and then Marcus Rashford finally back on the score sheet. Nothing more to say about United, but this situation, okay, is that I'm going to point out to you. Your team is up 2-0. There's this 36 going 37-year-old guy on your team, right? This guy just, as in literally, just came back from an hip injury. This is his first match back from an hip injury. Your team already 2-0 up. You decided that, here what? You know that Brentford is going to throw the kitchen sink at you. We're already 2-0 up. You're just coming back from injury, so I'm going to remove you and put on a defender. And then this man react to you by throwing a tantrum. Do you think that people are making a big fuss out of nothing? Or you think that Cristiano in the heat of the moment is just thinking about himself? Because the team is already up 2-0 now. and the coach is making a substitution in terms of to short the defense. Because if you remember against your side, Aston Villa, remember
Mm-hmm.
that they were what 2-0 up. He made an attacking
Mm-hmm.
substitution. When he made the attacking substitution, what happened? They ended up drawing the game to all.
Yep.
This time
Yep.
around, 2-0 up. He said, "Here what? Not going to let the same thing happen again." So he showed the defense. Yes, he brought on Marcus, in which Marcus was a like for like with Mason. But no, he decided that he's going to remove one of the attacker and put on a central defender just to switch formation to a threat at the back. And then Cristiano reacted the way he did. Do you think he has the best, the interest of the team at heart, or do you think that it was a personal game for him?
So I have nothing against Cristiano, but I believe this is just how he always is. He's never been a team guy for me. He's always been a Cristiano first and team second guy. Because knowing the situation of the game, knowing what happened last game, me coming off being 2-0 up, I'm happy. Tag Maguire and go on the bench and continue supporting my team. But again, Cristiano is one of those guys who has always made it about him. The attention has to be on him. The room have to focus on him. Everything has to be about him, and that is one trait. I mean, fabulous footballer, excellent, great footballer, great goal scorer. But that is just one trait I don't really like about him. And a lot of persons will say it's passion. But when do we draw the line between selfishness and passion? Because you can have passion if your team is losing and them take you off. Then you're vexed because you want to be a part of the comeback.
All
So I
right,
can
stick a
understand
pin
that.
right there. I personally don't like the throwing of tantrums and kicking and throw whatever, right? But where I can give players a pass is, for instance, your team Villa, when they play against United, the guy, what's his name? Morgan Sanson, right? He was at fault for the second goal.
Mm,
He played good throughout the game, but he was disappointed that, hey, I let my team down by giving away the goal. So he wanted to impact the game again to try and let his team to come back. So he kicked out of the water buckle later on. He apologized. So I can understand from that standpoint. But your team is already 2-0 up and all of that. And as I
yeah,
said, he's just coming back from an injury. You're,
yep,
you're 36 in a bro. It's not a case as if you're a 29-year-old Cristiano. You're
yep,
36.
yep.
And here's
Totally.
shoot,
Go
shoot,
ahead.
shoot.
No, go ahead.
Yes, Michelle saying that, but Levan, when he put on the defender for the attacker, that's when goals was scored on them. Michelle, come on, Michelle. The third goal was scored when he made that substitution as well. Yes, this is Man United, and it doesn't surprise me they concede because this is what they do. They're always going to concede. As Kim said when he was previewing the game last night, he know that Manchester United was going to concede a goal. That's
Yeah.
them. So it wasn't
What I said.
surprising.
Yeah, I said by both teams to score because I know that Manchester United will concede a goal. However, again, you can't look at it and say, oh, it make us defensive substitution and them still concede. You can't look at it like that because, as Levon pointed out earlier, they should have conceded in the first half if it wasn't for poor finishing and the heroics, right? But back to Christie again. I said I want my footballers passionate. I don't want my footballers boring, but there has to be time and place. And at that point in time, it just wasn't about you. You don't have to always be the center of attention. Instead of and this is what I'm talking about now. Instead of talking about Manchester United win, what are they talking about? Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo, he was upset for coming off. Um, is this coach, what is he? And then when Ralph had the press conference now, instead of addressing the team win, the first thing he have to address now, did you ever talk with Cristiano? How did he feel? And then he must, well, he's a competitor, he's a great player, da 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 da. Like those things, I believe at this stage of his career, we need to move on from that now. I've seen times where when Cristiano play for Real Madrid, other people score and he's not happy because he wants to score, he wants to do, or he wants to do the sewer, the poor, whatever that thing name on him say. Right? So I'm just saying, at some point you have to put the team first. And again, he did an interview the other day and he said, Manchester United should be first, second, or third. He's not here to come fourth, fifth, or sixth, or fifth, sixth, seventh. He's here to win trophies, da 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 da. What I'm saying. And I guess that's why there's always a rift between, the Mason Greenwoods, the Rashford, and him. Because those guys are team first guys. And Christie is not a team first guy. Christie is okay. I believe if Manchester United play a game and the game ends 6-5. Manchester United lose, and Ronaldo scored 5 goals. He's pleased, same score 5 goals, and he can walk off with his head held high. Hey, I scored 5. I did my job. No, he's not a team first guy. I don't like that.
Well, as I said, I just never like it. And it's something that I never yet like. Remember that I was one of the first one that complained about it when Ole was there. Remember when he came on the sideline and was there throwing out the hands,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's just something that I don't like as a fan. So
Yep.
people might say, oh, it's because you have elite mentality, and it's because of that elite mentality.
Rubbish.
I don't really buy
Rubbish.
that. But
I remember I remember a game where for PSG, and I see Robbie Rich talking about Zlatan. Don't mention Zlatan in this category, boss. Make Zlatan go sit down one side. Zlatan is not among these greats, boss. But I remember there was a game where Pochettino took off Messi. And obviously, you can see that he wasn't impressed with being taken off. But it was just a total different reaction for me. You can see he's not impressed, but Cristiano don't want to sit down on the bench. He's gonna sit down on the stair. Like, the camera, the camera have to go focus on him. Oh, what is wrong with Oh, he's definitely not happy with coming up. Oh, how is the team
no,
going
me the
to
pissed off,
rally?
bro. Yo, me did I watch a game in a brother. I mean, I say football, me there for watch a man, I put the camera focus on the man through like for about 2 minutes. I'm like, take the camera for the damn man and put it back on the field.
All right, Michelle, you say I don't like Cristiano. So you were okay with his actions today. You think those actions were perfectly fine for a veteran footballer, for somebody who's supposed to be the standard? You think any young footballer, any young aspired professional watching this game, this is how they're supposed to act when taken off? You were okay with that?
All right, Michelle, let's go ahead and answer to that question. Well, we're going to shift gears again and touch over to a topic that we should have done already. Now, I think you have seen the video games in regards to what MVP athletes has to do. When they go into the club, they have to, over time, when they start to earn back, they have to pay back what was invested in them. And that is separate to what they have to also give back to the club in terms of what was it again? 30%, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
So remember at first, we never really knew the whole backstory behind all of this. So a lot of us came down hard on Elaine for what she did in terms of leaving MVP, said that she wasn't earning much and all of that. But no, when you start to look at it from a analytical standpoint, with all the facts in front of you, and I know that you're someone that always said that with more facts in front of you, your opinion could change. No,
Mm-hmm.
you look at it and if they already have to give like up like 35% of their whatever they earn, then they have to pay back what was invested in them, in which that could come up to say 15%. So at the end of the day, what I'm earning, I have to give away 50% of that back to
Ah,
MVP. So that in essence means that I wouldn't be earning anything whatsoever. So what's
yep.
your take on the topic?
All right. So, really quickly, um, you can look at it two ways, right? So, when you're in desperate situation, so say for example, you don't have anywhere to live, for example. Remember trying to get a woman analogy. Let's say you don't have anywhere to live. And say me and I have nowhere to live. I'm gonna say, Levon, put me up, please. And I say, well, Kims, we can put you up in a boat. You have to wash plate, you have to cook, you have to iron, you have to do all of this. But I am so desperate. I say, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. No problem, you do it. Then I start making some money now. When you start make money, obviously things start change. Feel like you have to do certain things. So now you tell me, say, hey, clothes one iron, clothes one wash. I say,
No,
what
no,
kind of
that's
clothes, man?
hard.
Say you want to, man. Yo. So then I believe that is it because I think Elaine and them, can remember Elaine a country girl, not too smart, not have nothing come from nothing. So somebody taking a chance on her. Remember, because may I be honest with you, I don't think Elaine, if I ask Elaine them time, hey, you're gonna be the fastest woman in the world, I don't think Elaine would have said yes. I
Facts.
think she'd be like, oh, but me not have nothing else to do. Chucks alone, me can try it. Me just a try it. I think that is it. So now, when MVP, and again, MVP present this, I've been telling you before, the percentage of MVP figure, right? Me never know nothing about the balance sheet and thing. Is when I ask me look at sources, so I wait for them to get back to me. You never really know about the balance sheet. But however, if the balance sheet thing is true, like I have to, like, I really have to side with MVP because it's not like them hide it and them hide it somewhere in the contract and you still sign and then after them say, hey, here you go. It is something that is known upfront. Hey, this is the balance sheet. Hey, when you become a star, then we want back all of this and then pencil it in, all of the spikes, all of the food, all of the hotel, all of the traveling, all of the massage, all of the trips to Germany, forget your little injury, Achilles and all them something. So I really can't fault MVP. And then when you look on the other side, I really can't fault Alien. Because why me need to give MVP all of this money to invest in me? Again, let me use another relationship analogy. Let's say now, me have a girl and me invest in her now to go school. She go university 4 years, me I pay the tuition. After 4 years, she decide, well, we don't want no money push cat anymore. No, we want a doctor. Me can't say, well, hey, give me back money. You make an investment, you have gotten a return on your investment in other areas. Now, MVP, is the biggest club in Jamaica, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Not because of the MVP brand, but because of the athletes they produce. You think if MVP produce no athletes, you think they would have big as they are? The Shelley and Frasers, the Asafa Powell, the Sharon Simpson, the Elaine Thompsons of the world. These athletes have made MVP, just like how MVP has made these athletes. So, I think the balance sheet thing a madness, obviously, if we want to recoup back every dollar. But again, in everything level, it's always a business.
Facts.
Always a business.
And I see a comment here from Countryman that makes a whole lot of sense. He's saying that same thing happens with upcoming record artists. Sign absorb contracts, eventually leaves after learning the business. So that
Of
is
course.
basically what happened with Elaine. Elaine never know
Yep.
crap about the business, but now she has reached a level where people in her circle knows the
Mm-hmm.
business.
Because her
And they're
husband,
saying that
her husband, yep, her
exactly.
husband, elite businessman, her husband could lay a conquer and I say, why would you ever agree to this? Like, this is absolute madness.
Yeah, but she's
Because
good and
even,
she's going to respond and say I was just naive. I never read anything. Me
yep,
hungry.
exactly. Even the Shelly and Fraser, Shelly had some champ success, but Shelly, again, may I tell you, Shelly always wanted to be great, but I'm telling you, Shelly never thinks that she'd be as great as she was. A lot of
Facts.
these athletes didn't. A lot of these athletes didn't. And, MVP have something good going on over there. And I believe they will always have something good because they have a particular standard and they have a reputation and the resume is good and all of that. You see me? But I believe, these athletes have to be very smart when going into the MVP. You
So
can't.
Kems, in,
You
in,
just,
in essence, right? You're saying
mhm.
that you wouldn't fault either side.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
I
Because
see.
I can see it from both sides. I can see it from MVP side. Hey, I'm
Mhm.
making this investment in you. When you become a superstar, I need back my investment. I can
True.
see that from the athlete side. Hey, you already investing in me. I make you big. I show that hey, MVP is the place make other people want to come to MVP. So let me go my separate ways.
Facts.
All right. The same thing a countryman say. Because I think Spice, I think Spice was fighting with some label
Mhm.
for release some song. Cause she signed them absurd contracts with them for much years. I don't remember which label it was, and then the other day she finally get out of the contract and so again, when people are desperate, they will do desperate things. Cause they just
True.
want to get their foot in the door. Remember, let us talk about even a job. When you go a job and them say, hey, do you know how to do Microsoft Excel? When you don't know nothing about Excel. Yeah, man. I mean, yes, man.
Def-
I'm an expert in Excel. I can do Microsoft Access, PowerPoint, everything. Because you just want to get the foot in the door. So that's how it go.
True. Here's Alden saying that Elaine should have been told everything that's in that contract. That is my only point. However, if she never read the contract when signing, she have to take some of the blame. The club helped her. Yeah, they
All right.
did.
Let me show you something, Alvin. The other day, I order something from
Oh,
online.
your countryman saying it, Tim. Say it is VP
VP
Records.
Records. Yep. Yep. Absolutely, countryman. The other day, I order some online. Them say free trial. Free trial, 7-day trial. I say, all right, then, cool. When I check my account, $200 come out of my account a week later. So, I call my bank and say, hey, somebody trying to scam me. So, we end up call the company. and the company say, hey, probably you guys didn't read, but you say after you get the 7 day trial, if you don't call us to cancel, then we're going to charge your card automatically and send you, some more products or something for like workout and so. Let's say we're
Mhm.
going to send you some more products. Right? Again, the onus is on you to read the contract. They will put it in the contract so you can't sue them. But the onus on is if you can't read, you ask your friend, hey, can you just read, go through this to me, see anything in the fine print because those things live on. Those things will always be in the
And
fine print,
it's
always.
another thing that I mentioned that because you said generally humans in general they love to do this thing in terms of they don't like to read through things and then when situation arise they act naive to the situation. So guys, guess what? It's important for you to read through things before you sign because you might be signing a death sentence. It might be, as I know that Christians would say, Christians might say you might be signing your life and your soul to
Oh,
the devil. So some
yo,
Christian,
repeat that, cause me get kicked out. Repeat that.
I'm saying that Christians always say that when you're signing things, look at what you're signing because you might be signing over your soul to the devil. So ensure
Exactly,
that you read carefully
exactly,
through,
exactly.
especially contracts. Contract is one of those
What?
things that you need to read and that every I and every T.
Yep,
Because at
of
the end of the
course.
day, down the line now, a man might say, yo, say this never did in a contract car. Hey, say if I did do this, me not
All right.
entitled for it. Especially with jobs. You just drew for
Yeah.
a job, right? All
Okay.
right. Let's say I sign a
Mhm.
contract at a job.
Mhm.
And it's a case where they say that, hey, if you work here for a particular amount of time, you're
Mhm.
entitled to this. If you don't meet certain requirements, then there's nothing in it for you. Let's say now you reach a point where they fire you, see?
Uh huh.
They never reach a required time that is supposed to gain something about you in your head say, yo, I'm there for a couple of years now, well, so I'm entitled to get something. But guess what?
Yep.
You never read the contract where they say you're required to work at least 5 years before you're entitled to
Yep.
get anything. So contract
Trust
is
me.
a key thing you need to read through
Trust me,
before
man.
you
Yep.
sign.
That. Trust me. People, even the smartest people I know in this world, once contracts is involved, they always get a lawyer, pass it to the lawyer, make the lawyer go through it, and make sure say everything good. Because trust me, once you sign on that dotted line, your
That's it for you.
ASS is grass, man. Your ASS is grass.
You're a producer. You're the lion, so ensure that you read everything through when we get them in a scene. But I believe this is where we're going to wrap it up. You have anything at all that you want to talk about? Any possible thing?
All right, so very disappointed for Mona in the Walker Cup competition. Very, very, very disappointed for Mona. Mr. Butler say he hasn't spoke yet, but he's going to go ahead and talk to us and let us know, give us some explanation as to why. I don't know what he can possibly come with, but I see he posted a video the other day. Well, actually today, promising the guys that he's going to take them to Portugal and Spain. And I said before, it's just like you cheat on a girl and she catch you cheating, and you say, baby, you want some ice cream? Come and take you out for some ice cream, man, and sweet them. That is all he's doing, sweeten them up. Because I promise you, half of these kids don't have any visa, and they won't be able to go to these Portugal and Spain. But just listen out for it. I think one thing, I don't know Mr. Butler personally, but my issue with him is that the lack of accountability. I think he needs to be more accountable. No, no, this is the second time sum up. The first time you play with an overage player. Come on now, you must know better than this. The second time now, players are
Red card.
ineligible because of card, red card. Now you're going to tell me, oh, you never coached in a Manning Cup before. If Devon, if you are not familiar with a particular space, I must get educated on this. Like them thing as simple, but up and catch ABC 1, 2, 3. You're supposed to know these
Yet
things.
from where I would know if I never knew before, the moment that I did it the first time and I got that ban, because remember that
Wow,
they face some disciplinary actions when they use
of
overage player.
course.
From this, I make sure no say, yo, again, this is what, and I'm going to read this coming from, first I'm going to read Countryman one. Fine prints have led to persons' demise. That is the
Facts.
thing. So what the reason why I brought that up is just because with Craig Butler now, you should have read all the fine prints in ISA rules. Once you read those fine prints, you can't go wrong in a boss.
Funny enough, them thing there in a fine print. That one there in a fine bowl, it bowl as day, brother. And I'm saying if in the Manning Cup, if somebody have a yellow card, the first thing me I do, hey, hey, Trevor, I bet I can play in the Walker Cup. Him good? Or all the rules go. Even if we don't know the rules, all the rules go. Jamaican people nothing love ask question, especially him. Him love talk, love ask question. Hey, him good for play? Or alright. If you don't know, my thing is, you see, if you are uncertain, leave him out. Let me just leave him out and then until we get more clarification on it. And I think they still could have won the game without those two players. But
That's what I
I
was going to
mean,
say, Kims. You know it hurt, bro. Imagine you beat up this side by 5 goals to nil, and they end up making the final over you.
yep,
That
you do
sucks,
the
bro.
you do the crime, you have to do the time, man. Absolutely.
And I'm just going to read Michelle's comment. She said that with everything the fine print is the most important. Case in point, look at the pharmaceutical ads. A drug. That's where the side effects are. Facts. That is fact. And there's Michael Reynolds saying that Craig Craig bitter about Mona. And here's Michelle saying that Craig Butler give off a politician vibe. So anything else that you want to touch on? Or that's it from you?
No, man, that's it, man. That's it.
I'm not giving them the preview for Mail's podcast. Are you waiting until
Oh,
Friday?
shoot. Oh, God, man, I forget. Oh, Mills podcast, man. Thank you for everybody that been tuning in. I've seen a lot of persons from over here who have been over there. I really and truly appreciate every single support. Thank you so much. Um, this week we have very interesting topics. We're going to talk about obviously the finances in a relationship. A lot of men on the panel believe that 50-50 is the way to go. So do you think it's 50-50 between a man and a woman in spite of how much money is being made in the household? Somebody on the panel also wanted to talk about intimacy and why does intimacy slow down when the couples start to live together? So that's another thing we're going to talk about. Why the intimacy stop, why it slow down, why it's not as much.
So
So
let's
that's
start with
something that
your big shirt now, eh?
yeah, man, be bingo and thing in the house and all them something. So, so we have some great things to talk about Sunday, 8 p.m. So, I want you guys to
It's an
definitely
interesting
join
topic
us.
in a Kim because guess what? So sometimes I meet a girl and she used to dress all nice and everything, but the moment you and her start live, alone big shirt, killing me with big shirt like and start
Loan,
getting points like she for England, eh?
yeah, man, loan bingo to brother. I'm gonna do the bingo thing and I'm gonna play a bingo, brother.
Alright, say no more, bro. But thanks to everyone that has tuned in to the live tonight. Ensure that you like before you leave, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, ensure that you do so. And Robbie, remember that you made us a promise, and I tell you that if you don't fulfill that promise, you're not coming back on the NBA podcast. So we're looking forward to those things, Robbie. Um, Thanks to all the commenters that comment, and thanks to those who sit behind their screens and don't comment. Big up our producer Josh Carl, big up Kems, and until tomorrow, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your night.